In most Japanese martial arts, your feet function in a system called suriachi. You glide. Instead of lifting your knees too high, you lower your center of gravity and walk by gliding with your feet. This gliding motion is called suriachi. There are 3 basic ways to walk in Aikido. One is the kyuriashi, meaning your front foot is the one that provides traction. So it's the one that advances, the back foot follows. You do this while keeping your knees bent and your center of gravity low. So you advance working in this way. The front leg glides, the back leg follows. When you do this, you keep your weight low, knees bent, without oscillating your height. This movement is the kyuriashi. So, this is what you use in this type of work. You have a distance you can advance from, and you advance directly with your front foot. So if your partner comes to attack, you can advance directly with your front foot. Then the second movement is Sugashi, meaning you maintain the same leg position as in kyuriashi, but the traction is on the back foot. The back foot comes together and propels you forward. The back foot comes together and propels you forward. So, if you do kyuriashi at a shorter distance with Sugashi, you end up going much further because the traction is from the rear. You bring your back foot together with your front foot, and it's almost as if you were going to jump. Your knees are bent. It's like you're going to jump, but you slide, slide, slide. So, in this work, for example, sometimes you have a distance where in kyuriashi you would be closer to your partner. In Sugashi, sometimes that distance is much further. You bring your feet together and advance behind your partner. So, you bring your feet together and advance. You bring your feet together and advance. In Taijutsu, it's a matter of choice. Which one will you use, the kyurias or sugas? Then there's a third form, which is amaya. Amaya is alternating your legs. But instead of walking with one foot, on each line, within the Aikido you always work in line with your legs as if you were on a tightrope, not with your feet off the line, but with your feet on the line. So, first, you don't change the shape of your feet. My back foot is pointing outwards, my front foot is pointing forwards. You walk in this way, in line. Then you alternate your legs, but walking in this way. You alternate your legs, walking in this way. With a partner, we use this a lot. When you're doing this work, this work, the same thing, for example, you could do kokilo with this work, whether in katadidor or morididor. So you do this work. There. The second way to practice yumiishi is to change your stance. So, I'm standing with my feet in this position. I'm going to start pressing my big toe into the ground, turn my hip, and then take the step. I press my big toe into the ground, turn my hip, and take the step. You walk, actually, not with your foot, but with your hip. Your hip rotates and brings your leg forward. Your hip rotates and brings your leg forward. The same thing when you step back, you pull your leg with your hip. Pull your leg with your hip. Advance with your hip. For this, you have to have this mobility in your foot. Many people end up doing this, using the heel as a point of support. You will maintain the metatarsals as a point of support. That's why it's important to have this grip strength. You do this movement, press your big toe, advance, press your big toe and turn your foot, advance. All this through your hip, through your hip, through your hip. Then, your partner will attack, great.
You want me to bring one up?
Okay.
You turn your foot, then advance, turn your foot, advance. Whether it's for 10, sometimes equal, right? Even sometimes when you're going to do a little tense, then you, see, turn your foot, then advance. Always do this work. Once you're well structured in your leg movement, you end up not dispersing energy, oscillating your height. You always keep your knees engaged at that height, that is, they will be in a position of power so that you can immediately explode. Then, the partner will attack you. If your legs aren't working very well, your weight will lift. When the partner attacks, our tendency is to go backward or even throw the hips back to then be able to explode. When you work your feet well, you lower your center of gravity. Then you can flow the movements very easily. You lower your center of gravity. Then you can explode easily into the movements. Your center of gravity will be low. Then you can explode easily into the movements. Yes, it's a natural position for human beings. This comes from animals. When you go into a confrontational situation, observe a cat or a dog, they will lower their center of gravity. Every hunting animal lowers its center of gravity to go after the hunt. We are the same. If you go into a position where you feel conflict, you start to lower your center of gravity to be able to advance and engage, whether in a fight or flight situation. So that's why many people, when they are afraid, find their legs start to feel weak. One of the factors is that you are losing your connection with your legs. If you lower your center of gravity, you have a contraction of the legs, which forces them not to be so weak, and then you can explode on your partner when necessary. So, a large part of your base begins with the movement of your feet,